All right, if you're thinking about moving to Florida, this video might save you months of stress and potentially thousands of dollars. Everyone's talking about the most dangerous cities, but I'm here to break down the 10 safest cities in the state with real crime data. This is not opinions, this is not headlines. And stay till the end because I'm going to break down how places like New Smyrna Beach, Port Orange, Ponce Inlet, and Ormond compare to the rest of the state, and why some of the safest places aren't getting all the attention. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, you want to learn everything there is to know about living in New Smyrna Beach and surrounding areas like Ormond Beach, Ponce Inlet, Daytona Beach Shores, Daytona Beach, Port Orange, or Edgewater, then you've come to the right place. My name is Matt Ecoff. This is my beautiful wife, Rachel Ecoff. We are local real estate experts, and we are here to share everything from the best neighborhoods to the hottest spots around town. We discuss things like school zones and flood zones and everything in between. Listen, we get phone calls, emails, text messages, Zoom invites every day from people just like you wanting to move to the beach. So whether that be in 2 days, 20 days, or 200 days, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to help you move to the beach. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to get all the updates and notifications about New Smyrna Beach and surrounding areas, because we do 2 of these videos per week. So let's get up and get going today. All right, so before we jump in, let me talk about how this list was created, because safety is not subjective. I want to break down where we're getting this information. So we used FDLE, which is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. We use their data. We use FBI uniform crime reporting data. We also only covered a 5-year trend, so from 2020 to 2025. We're in 2026 right now. And then total crime per 1,000 residents. This is violent and property crime. So these are the things that we're using. One important reminder that every city is different and that there are pockets to everything, and we're not trying to break anything down, or we're not trying to piss anybody off or make anything mad. There are pockets and there are also patterns, and that this is just pure data. The numbers don't lie. So that's the stuff that we're going over today. So before we get into the individual cities, I want to talk about statewide context, why Florida scores really well. Okay, so here's the good news for anybody looking to move to Florida. So coming out of 2025, violent crimes were down 8 to 9%. So that's great. Property crime was down 6%. Also great. And overall crime was down a little over 6% statewide. So really good things for crime to come down in 2025, when I feel like a lot of other areas we're hearing highlights, is a really good thing. I mean, Ron DeSantis is very, very, very strict. Again, we're not a political channel. So nationally, we are coming in well below the national average for both property and violent crimes. And we're in the upper to middle tier of states for safety. And honestly, when I was looking at this, the safety states were states I've never even been to before. It was Rhode Island, it was Maryland, it was Delaware. It was, some of these states that are small, quiet, quaint, northeastern states. So, but the good news is Florida's getting safer overall year over year, it seems.
Yeah, that's great news. I like that.
All right, so let's get down to the top 10 cities and kind of just talk about a little bit of each. All right, so coming in to number 10, Palm Coast. This is one of the lowest crime rates in Northeast Florida. Palm Coast is between Jacksonville and Daytona Beach, right over by St. Augustine. We looked at some houses there. A lot of houses on the water there. Population 102,000. Again, a lot of waterfront homes, a lot of boating, a lot of deep water spots in Palm Coast. We looked at some houses for your parents there.
Right, it's really popular.
Really popular with retirees and people that like that boater's life. There's some great downtown areas too as well in Palm Coast, and it's a great overall community. And in fact, out of all the communities all the cities that we're talking about, I think it has the most population. Again, 102,000 residents in Palm Coast.
Yeah, it's a big town.
Yeah, yep. A lifestyle note: it is quiet, coastal, much slower pace than a lot of other areas. So Palm Coast comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Oviedo. So UCF is based, University of Central Florida is based in Oviedo. Everybody says it's in Orlando, and it's maybe Orlando zip code, but it is actually officially Oviedo. Oviedo is very small and consistently comes in as one of Central Florida's safest cities. The population is only 42,000, so very similar to New Smyrna Beach as far as size, but geographically it's a very large location. Low violent crime, strong school districts, and very easy to commute to Orlando. In fact, you can take some back roads and get to Orlando pretty quickly and pretty easily.
But if you're looking to move to the beach, Oviedo is not it.
No, Oviedo is farther from the beach.
It is inland.
So, but it is 30 minutes to Disney.
And it does come in at number 9 on safest places to live.
It does, and it's growing fast. And I will tell you that I have 20 acres in agriculture, so I can plug myself for a second. I have 20 acres of agriculture listed for $1,999,000, and have had a good amount of interest for solar panel farms and also for ag land, and also for people that just want the space to save it for later on down the road, because it is so close to Winter Park in Orlando that it is an up and coming area. So
moving that direction.
Moving this area so somebody wants to buy it for potentially development later on down the road. It's a good investment.
Cool.
It's a good investment. All right, so coming in at number 8, very close to Oviedo, is Winter Springs. This is Central Florida between Lake Mary and Altamont. So again, very close to Oviedo. It's got a population of only 38,000 people, so it's not a big city whatsoever. It's known for very low crime per capita, and in fact, one of the lowest in all of Central Florida. It's very family friendly, very suburban layout, and it has some really great schools. And as far as one of the stats that came up, it's in the FBI, it says excellent long-term crime stability. So I'm not a police officer or law enforcement, but that sounds good. And I think the FBI knows what they're talking about. Also, that's only 40 minutes to Disney.
Yeah,
so
you're really a lot closer in Winter Springs, because we used to live out towards Altamont, so I know exactly where that is.
Yep, and I sell houses in Lake Mary and Heathrow not that long ago. All right, coming in at number 7, one of my favorite cities in the state of Florida is Jupiter. It's in South Florida's area. It's one of South Florida's safest coastal cities. It has a population of 61,000 people, so not big. It is 15 miles north of West Palm Beach and 80 miles north of Miami. So, you're a good hour and a half, 90-minute drive to get down to Miami Beach, but you're in your own coastal town there. This is a huge residency for PGA professionals. Like, if you watch golf at all, then you know and you've heard of all the golfers that live down in Jupiter, because this is a huge golf area. But it is gorgeous down there. It actually is coastal living rates it as the 9th happiest seaside town in the United States.
Yeah, and they're about 2.5 hours south from New Smyrna.
Yep, for where we're at. So higher home values correlate with lower crime activity, and it's got also strong local enforcement and community design. So this is all planned. Taxes are a little bit higher there, but that's also because they're covering things like fire departments and police and stuff like that, and patrolling. But Jupiter is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful place to live, and comes in at number 7 as Florida's safest city. All right, number 6. I've actually never been here before. Maybe you have. I've heard a lot about it. I know a lot of people that have gone, and we just haven't made a trip. It's Marco Island. It is very small, population of only 15,000 people, extremely low violent crime rate. If you don't know Marco Island or you don't know Florida, I think it's one of the farthest southwest beach towns before you're in the Everglades.
Yeah, I haven't been that. We've been to Sanibel. We've been to,
Fort Myers, Naples.
Yeah, Captiva area. I don't think we've made it over to Marco Island.
No, Marco Island. It also is one of the largest barrier islands, which is New Smyrna Beach is a barrier island, but one of the largest barrier islands in that southwest corridor of Florida. It has high owner occupancy, which is always good, and that also helps with the crime rate. And the island geography limits through traffic, which also I think is a big deterrent. All these little barrier islands are like that. There's you get in, you commit a crime, there's only one way to get out. You're freaking stuck here. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So controlled access matters. That's what I'm trying to get to. So, all right, coming in at number 5, this was actually very surprising to me, Mount Dora.
Okay.
So yeah, Mount Dora, a small town feel, strong crime metrics, population only 18,000. To me, there's a lot of small boutiques and a lot of antique shops and little restaurants and stuff like that. To me, Mount Dora is a centrally located non-coastal New Smyrna Beach.
Yeah, I can see that. And then it's also a very historic area. There's a lot to do there. It's definitely a fun day trip. If you live out here or vice versa, we get a lot of people that come from Mount Dora to here to Mount Dora, go explore. They have a really cool lake out there.
Yeah, FBI actually labels it as historic core with residential stability.
Oh, okay, so look, I'm right on.
So that was pretty good. So low population density, again, only 18,000 people, which usually relates to low crime area. So again, I think it's the middle of the state, New Smyrna Beach. That's how I would describe Mount Dora. But I was surprised to see it on there at number 5.
Yeah, I am too.
All right, coming in at number 4 is Weston. Weston is just west of Fort Lauderdale, so down in the southeast corridor. I got a population of 68,000 people, so a little bit on the larger side of the cities that we're talking about. It frequently ranks amongst the safest cities in the entire United States. So real high police activity there, just zoning and stuff like that. It's a planned community. The actual whole city itself is a planned community. We've been there. My friend Andrew is a broker there, but strict zoning, planned community, planned neighborhoods, but very low violent crime rate.
Yeah, it's It's really nice out there, but definitely you're gonna see a ton of like planned sub, like, and they're all, I mean, gorgeous.
But I mean, you gotta like one style of home, because if you don't like that style of home, then you're not gonna want to live in Destin.
Yes.
Yeah, Spanish style, single level, tile roof, orange tile roof or green tile roof. If you don't like those things, then the Weston's not the city for you. But
really pretty.
And the landscaping and the tropical, it's amazing.
They do a great job. Like just the city itself.
Yeah.
The
whole city is a planned city, so yeah, it makes sense. But it is a great place, though. All right, coming in at number 3, an area that we cover, Ormond Beach. It's one of the safest coastal cities in the state. It's got a population very, very similar to New Smyrna Beach. It's got a population of 44,000. That's different between inland and beachside. A lot of really great communities. We've done a top 5 communities tour in top 5 neighborhood tours in Ormond Beach. Great place. We cover that. We get phone calls, emails, text messages, and Zoom invites about Ormond Beach all the time. A really, really great area. A consistently low volume of crime, violent crime. Excellent for retirees and full-time residents. Very, very beach town. Not a lot of shopping like New Smyrna Beach, which keeps the tourists out and keeps, the visitors out. And I think that's part of the direct correlation to the low crime rate. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I love Ormond. There's some restaurants that I frequent in Ormond a lot.
And there's Whole Seafood, which is one of the best freaking seafood places that you can buy fresh seafood in Ormond Beach. But Ormond Beach coming in at number 3, pretty awesome.
Yeah, so hit us up if you want to know more about Ormond Beach.
Yeah, and so I'm going to talk about number 2, which I want you to hit me up on also. Another city that we cover, which is Port Orange. Now, Port Orange is number 2 in Florida. It is the safest city in Volusia County. Comes in at number 2, which is freaking awesome. Population is 65,000. We know Port Orange is a little bit more planned community, stuff like that. Yeah. The school districts are amazing in Port Orange, and there's some places in New Smyrna Beach, in fact, Venetian Bay, that you can go to the middle school in Port Orange if you live in Venetian Bay. It's got a suburban layout. Again, excellent schools, low violent crime rates, low property crime rates. Again, Port Orange is great. I mean, safety, value, proximity.
Port Orange is definitely one of our favorite places to be.
And if we didn't live in New Smyrna Beach, we probably would live in Port Orange.
I think I would, yes.
All right, and coming in at number 1 on the list, guess what? Also another city that we cover. Ponce Inlet. Ponce Inlet. 1, 2, and 3. Number 1, Ponce Inlet, safest community in all of Florida. It's got a population, population of 3,400 people. Not very much. At least enough to probably halfway fill a community college stadium. So 3,400 people, but no outlet, and one downfall about Ponce, though, I love Ponce Inlet. I think part of the reason why Ponce has the lower crime rate too, again, there's no way to get out, because it's there's only one way in and one way out, which is Dunlawton or Atlantic there. But I am helping somebody there, a doctor from Gainesville right now, actually look for a lot to buy or tear down a house and then build something from Chad Newberry Homes, which is amazing homes in Ponce Inlet. And he's the main builder in Ponce Inlet. Chad and I worked together on some other deals. Japandi is one of your favorite houses that you ever built in New Smyrna Beach. But anyway, it's very low year-over-year crime volatility. I also think that it's probably low crime because there's not a ton of bars there. There is, Down the Hatch, and there is Hidden Treasure, both great places right by the lighthouse, but those are really local only places. I mean, nobody really knows about that. People are coming from out of the area, but Ponce Inlet coming in number 1. I tell you what though, how about we cover 1, 2, and 3 in our areas? Now I'm gonna try to plug myself there.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And fun fact, if you are at the very end of our beach here in New Smyrna Beach, you can see Ponce Inlet from our jetties. You can see all the way across to their side of the beach with their lighthouse.
Yeah, with their lighthouse.
It's so cool.
And we have some people that have told us that they've made that swim across the thing. I think they're liars.
It's a legend.
But it's a legend. I say liar, you say legend. But so let's talk about New Smyrna Beach. New Smyrna Beach has below state average of crime rate. We do have some tourist activity here sometimes, and that does cause some things. Beachside and North Beach specifically have really, really low crime rates. Again, I think it's that exit point, the Barrier Island. There's only one or two ways in and 1 or 2 ways out. So most incidents that happen are non-violent and they're isolated situations. And there's a specific area to Inwood, which we've done a video about, don't live in this specific area, and it's on mainland, but it's right, I mean, it's just a couple blocks off a canal, but you wouldn't know. It is over US 1 and over the railroad tracks, but there is a specific, yes, a little pocket.
And like you said earlier, every city, every town has
Everybody's got it.
That space, that area that may be a little unfavorable.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so the big takeaway here is crime stats are a tool. Okay, they're like days on market or interest rates. They're a tool to be used, but honestly, you don't need to live in fear of them. You know, you just need to use them to make smart decisions. So 2 streets can feel completely different, and that's why you need an agent that drives those streets, knows those streets, and know which area to be in. Because you could be, literally what we're talking about, Inwood in New Smyrna, you could be on one of those streets. You could be on Mary Avenue, which is just a couple streets down from Faulkner, and Faulkner's got $2 million historic homes, while Mary Avenue doesn't have that. So that's why it's important to use a local real estate expert. You hire somebody from Orlando or Winter Park, they're probably a great real estate agent. Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, they might be a great real estate agent. They don't know the areas like we know the areas. All right, so if you're thinking about moving to New Smyrna Beach or any of the coastal cities that we cover, like the top 3, Ponce Inlet, Port Orange, Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach Shores, Edgewater, New Smyrna Beach, then reach out. Look, we do these videos every week, 2 times a week. We talk about schools, we talk about neighborhoods, we talk about traffic patterns, we talk about flood zones. You know, we cover everything every week. So, and we do get phone calls, emails, text messages, Zoom invites every day from people like you wanting to move to the beach. So whether it be 2 days, 20 days, or 200 days, don't hesitate to reach out, and don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe so you get these updates and notifications about everything New Smyrna Beach and surrounding areas have to offer, and sometimes some other good real estate insight that doesn't have to do with any of these areas, just real estate insight in general. So thanks for joining us on this video. See you next time.